Alright, it is time to play an old Maya overhaul called Elemental Banshee Maya. Now, as far as I'm aware, there's no new equipment or anything to look out for, so this is completely just playing an overhauled character with vanilla stuff going on. But if we go ahead and read our skill trees a little bit, our phase lock is still basically phase lock, but if you phase lock an enemy that you can't actually pick up and just damages them, it also gets a bonus from any melee buffs the character has. Going to go ahead and start over in left tree. Ward seems to basically be ward. Siren Song. If a phase locked enemy is killed, life orbs automatically seek out and heal you and nearby players, so sweet release. And then, in addition, you gain a stack of Siren Song, which increases your max health. Stacks decay independently, and each one lasts for 6 minutes. So that could potentially be a pretty good amount of max health right there. We've got Quicken right here, which for each stack of Siren Song increases the cooldown rate of your phase lock ability and of your melee override. Okay, so we'll have to read about that whenever we get over there. But okay, more phase lock, more ball. Sustenance, constantly regen health. Regeneration rate is increased when your shields are depleted or your magazine is empty. Sure, interesting. Fleet is fleet. Converge pulls nearby enemies to you or to the phase lock target. Deals a small amount of damage. Increases phase lock duration by 1 second. Shriek. While you have an enemy phase locked, you drain energy from your shields and gain a massive increase in fire rate and gun damage. Bonuses are lost when your shields are depleted. While your shield is draining, get extra fire rate and gun damage, a lot, by the way. And then Kinetic Reflection, Kill Skill, seems to mainly do kinetic reflection stuff. Damage of deflected bullets depends on your level and the number of Siren Song stacks you have. Okay. Chain Reaction, all your shots that hit enemies have a chance to ricochet nearby to other enemies. Chance of ricocheting depends on the number of Siren Song stacks. Chain Reaction only works with bullets. Okay. So potentially a lot there too. And then our capstone is Subsequence. So when an enemy is under the effects of phase lock and dies, your phase lock ability will seek out and affect another target. Also increases phase lock duration by 3 seconds. I appreciate this because this means that we don't have to have a 5 out of 5 into Subsequence. It is literally just a 1-point skill, which is how it should be, because having a chance for your phase lock to do anything feels really bad, and so having it just be guaranteed is super nice to me. We won't have Thought Lock, which I know some people like, but this character is seeming pretty melee-y in some ways, I'll get to. We've got Mind's Eye over here, which does what it does. Accelerate is over here, does what it does. Pins and Needles, while you have an enemy phase locked, you gain increased melee damage and elemental effect damage. We've got Restoration, pretty much does Restoration, maybe a little more max health. Maybe a lot more max health, actually. That's a ton of max health. We've got Elated, does elated stuff. We've got Res, also gives you an extra second of phase lock duration. Out with a Bang, if the enemy you have phase locked is killed, it explodes and generates a wave of energy that carries your melee potential and damages nearby enemies. The blowback of the explosion also depends on the level of skill. So, to kill enemy under phase lock effect, do AoE that is buffed by melee buffs. Sounds super stupid, probably melee character. Life Tap does Life Tap. Reaper, killing an enemy with any elemental status effect grants you a stack of Reaper, which increases your melee damage. So you get status effect kill, get massively increased melee damage for the next 90 seconds. This can stack, each stack decays independently. And then Scorn does Scorn stuff. The damage it inflicts is based on your melee damage and benefits from all your melee bonuses as well, though. So that will come into play with Quicken probably. Flicker does Flicker. Petals increases our damage resistance against non-element, fire, and corrosive specifically. We've got Backdraft, where scoring a crit with a gun has a chance to set your target on fire. Ignite chance is larger for weapons with a small fire rate and a small number of projectiles per shot. Additionally, when your shields are depleted, you create a fiery explosion, and that effect is normal. Okay, Pestilence, melee attacks also deal corrosive. Pestilence damage is based on the melee you actually deal. Okay, so this potentially could play into Reaper, because we could get a really high melee damage going on. We smack a dude, we attack him with a corrosive dot from the smack, he ticks away and dies. Hey look, more melee damage. Okay, so that could be cool. When you take health damage, there's a chance for your attacker to be set on fire and drenched in acid. Okay. We've got Cloud Kill. It does Cloud Kill stuff. It deals a ridiculously small amount of corrosive damage to enemies who touch it. And it also increases phase lock duration by 1 second, and they made its cooldown worse. So it takes 20 seconds for you to be able to shoot another one. Death Wish increases the damage that your Burn and Corrode status effects deal, depending on how low your health is. Lower your health, the greater the bonus. Okay, that sounds risky, but sure. Elemental Queen is a kill skill that buffs our fire and corrosive damage. Ruin is now a 5 out of 5 skill that gets buffed per rank. And then Nephilim, you constantly deal slag to nearby enemies. Okay. So we've got some stuff. The main thing I'm looking at right now initially is thinking of just a subsequent Scorn build with Quicken to spam out our abilities and stuff a lot. So that's kind of what I think I want to build into initially. I don't think that getting Siren Song early will be too good. We might want to wait until we're really fully able to spec out the tree to do that. But we could go, I don't know, middle tree for a little bit just to see how that feels. We could go down right tree a little bit to see how that feels. I'm not really too sure. But yeah, overall, seems interesting. Probably not too strong. Funny little melee Maya, perhaps. Let's walk forward. You know, since this overhaul of the character doesn't really affect the normal drop rates or anything, we could just go ahead and turn on a lot of BL2Fix's effects and just enjoy that for a while. I like to turn it off whenever I'm normally playing the game with other overhauls because it'll interrupt what they feel like. But since this probably won't be too different, I can just turn everything on. So yeah, cool. You know, I don't know if I've ever played a mod that really... Well, I guess War Machine kind of did a little bit of a melee Maya thing, but it was mainly just throwing phase lock at somebody, or throwing Scorn at somebody and watching them just disappear. Whereas this sounds like it might actually just be a melee fest, for at least a little bit. We'll have to see if our corrosive melee applies to blades, because if it does, I'll be really happy. And if it doesn't, then that's going to severely limit what we can do damage-wise. And also means we'll probably just have to keep a boring normal Ruby with no melee attachment and stuff like that. So we'll see what comes up.
You'll regret that.
Alright, level 6. Probably going to keep farming this for a little bit. I do want to pick up Siren Song since it is so uniquely different. But we'll see if we get much use out of it.
Wasn't my time.
Alright, level 9 off of a Rabid. Yeah, we could go to Lilith DLC real quick. Wouldn't be a bad idea. Okay. Level 11. Alright, so with level 11, gonna go ahead and spec into Quicken. I know that I said almost instantly that I didn't think we could spec Siren Song, and it makes sense to do, but it is one of the most interesting things that I see in the skill tree this early, so we'll probably run it for a little bit, just to see if we start to notice the cooldown and stuff. Alright, so each stack of Siren Song lasts for 6 minutes, and for every stack we get 3% more health. So hopefully we'll start to notice that our health bar just starts climbing pretty quick here. It will be interesting to try to make a more tanky Maya with this. And I guess we could try to see eventually how much health we can stack up. We could do a little bit of sham fleeting, and then after we're done with our sham fleet, we could swap over to some tanky equipment. something like a Rough Rider and a Max Health Relic. Or we could run a little Eevee. A bladed little Eevee could be pretty fun. And that would help us with our melee damage and our cooldown at the same time. It wouldn't be as good as a Rapier, of course, but it'd be something to look at. So it's an interesting idea at the very least.
Stop struggling.
Yep, this is not a surprise. Good old classic Skyrocket gameplay. This is how it'll go for the first day or so, and I will definitely be going to Pirate DLC at level 15 and immediately getting a Rapier, because of course, why not? Maybe even a little Eevee. I don't know if that'll be a little overzealous though, considering how long into the DLC that is. But it's an idea. We could try it. It will be interesting to have a Maya where we don't necessarily want the phase lock to be up. Because usually you grab a target and then you kind of want to keep that target alive so that you have wreck and chain reaction and stuff like that. Whereas with this character, getting our phase lock to be ended, or at least getting the enemy phase locked to be ended, is pretty helpful. So we'll see how this goes. I guess another thing I don't really know is whether or not the Gen 2 comms, or even the normal class mods, are replaced. It would make sense if they were, but I really just didn't think about it that much. I'd be curious to see how they're changed, to see if one of them is a dedicated melee compared to all of the rest of them. Even though I'd imagine a lot of it is just going to be very melee-centric. Well, we'll find out. Slowest Captain Flint kill I've done, by the way. There we go.
Freeze.
Skyrocket. Part 3. 2? 3. Let's Skyrocket all the way, though. I do want to go into Pirate DLC to go ahead and check out our Grendel quest to see what the class mods can buff. And then also get our Rapier and stuff while we're in there. So we could probably just hit level 14 here and then immediately go push it, since it's not going to scale lower than 15 and we're going to need XP anyway. So might as well just do it a little earlier than normal. Kind of just because why not at that point. Some good old classic early gameplay. Nothing too exciting or boring about it, really.
Explosives! That was interesting.
Yeah. And a stink pot. I don't know if I'll really use the stink pot. Maybe a little bit, just because it's different.
Explosives!
Grendel, Skyrocket, once again. I'll probably go ahead and check out the class mods before we really progress towards the Rapier and stuff. Kinda just because I'm interested. Alright, so Sustenance, Elated, and a Life Tap. So Sustenance over here. Elated right here, and then Life Tap right here, Shriek out with a bang, and Quicken. Okay, so Shriek is over here. It's that wreck type of skill, which will give insane amounts of fire rate. Out with a bang over here, which is the extra melee AoE thing, and then Quicken for a bunch of cooldown, which honestly, with Out with a Bang, could be kind of fun. So, might get a class mod like this one. Maybe with, you know, the other skill instead of Shriek, though. Cat gives Elemental Queen and Mind's Eye. Let's try to roll for another one. Okay, so Mind's Eye, Elemental Queen, and Accelerate. Okay, so these two, and then extra fire and corrosive damage on kills. probably not too insanely strong in this mod. I guess that if you were bee-hawking, for example, that could be pretty cool, but not really insane. Alright, Thieving Trickster. So Tricksters still seem to give kinetic reflection, chain reaction, and life tap, so that's normal. Banshee gives plus to Reaper, Shriek, and Fleet. So that is a plus to movement speed, and then plus to our fire rate and gun damage stuff over here. Probably just really useful to drop your shield, I guess. And then the Reaper skill over here, so we could get this up to a pretty stupid amount, 55% melee damage per stack. That could be awful nice. Okay. Fox gives Elemental Queen and Flicker and Backdraft. Okay, so Elemental Effect Chance, extra do fire stuff, and then Elemental Queen. Okay, so interesting. Which gives Ruin and Quicken and Pestilence. Okay, so more cooldown, more melee corrosive stuff, and then more plus to Ruin. Interesting. I'm also just now noticed that Ruin only gives fire, shock, and corrosive. There's no slag. So probably relying on Scorn Ball a little bit. I know I could get Nephilim, but I really want Subsequence, and I want Scorn. So probably not going to have Right Tree Capstone. And then that should just leave us with the Nurse, which gives Elated, Siren Song, and Restoration. Okay, so Elated, plus 2 extra max health, and then, yeah, plus 2 more max health. Gross. Okay, so that could be a really good thick boy comm. Gotcha. I don't think I actually looked at the binder properly, so we're gonna look at the binder too. The binder gives Pins and Needles, it gives Elated, and Ruin. Okay. So, Elated, plus to Ruin, and then where is Pins and Needles? Here it is. So while you have an enemy phase locked, you gain increased melee damage and elemental effect damage. Okay. That's just kind of a cool comm. I think I do want the phaser with a bang and quicken though. So I will farm that out for a little bit here, because it is interesting to me. Quicken and out with a bang. Alright, cool. So with that, we should get a ton of phase lock cooldown rate with every single stack that we get of Siren Song. And then we can start speccing towards Out with a Bang. Honestly, I'll probably get Converge, and then just start working over here. Get Mind's Eye, get Pins and Needles, and then get Out with a Bang. And then work towards Scorn, and then probably start working back down left tree after that. I guess we don't really need a bunch of Subsequence or anything like that if we just do have Quicken really strong. So in maps where we're rolling, we probably don't even need Subsequence, and then Nephilim might actually start to make more sense with the Ruin proc and everything over here. Maybe. My brain is going back and forth on this a lot now. That's interesting. I just watched that not do anything, and I am thrown off the... Okay. Stinkpot is really hard to want to use. A lot of cannons are really hard to want to use in this game, to be fair, though. That feels kind of bad. There we go. Alright, yeah, we only need to farm a rapier once. And also, I will say, it only has 120% melee damage on it. So it has been nerfed. But that's totally fine, because it'll still probably make us deal tons of damage. And it's slag, which means that we won't ever need to replace it because it'll always just be our slag tool as well as our poking tool. Cool.
I like that.
Sandman's dead? Nice. Now once you find his
Always read up.
Alright. Get rid of that, put that on. Get rid of that, put that on. Cool. So now for every stack of Siren Song, we get an extra 5.6% cooldown, which I'm sure we'll probably be able to build up plenty of stacks in the future. And we're really close. Okay, 6.4% now. And we can get Converge, and then start working towards Middle Tree, get Mind's Eye, Pins and Needles, Out with a Bang, Life Tap, Reaper, and then probably Scorn. And then just play like that, and then merge back over here and get Subsequence. Maybe. We'll see. I am curious how strong the character's melee is going to turn out if they had to go and nerf the Rapier like this. That seems like a little odd of a choice. But I guess we'll find out. Alright, while we're here in Washburn, we're also going to get the Pimpernel, because, like, why not at this point? Might as well just get more damage. Alright, Hurley. You are only a little bit of a problem. Probably because I'm only using a level 11 Lesko. We're fine, we're getting there. I'm out of ammo for that. You know what? Hold on, what am I doing? He might resist it, but he'll still die to it, probably. There we go. That took a little longer than it should have. Alright. Little corrosive pimp early on. Might try for a higher mag size. A 10 mag crit? Oh. Yeah, I don't care that it's fire. Actually, it probably will help with the rest of the DLC and a lot of early game, base game. Okay, sure. Oh, this is nice. I am very happy with having a Pimpernel, especially this early. Alright, cool. Go ahead and give him that, and then just leave him to it. And I guess a little bit of a Sandhawk while we're here. I'm not really going to farm it out, though, because if we're using a Sandhawk on this character by endgame, we've done something wrong. I just want to play the melee build. As long as the melee works out at this current moment, I'm totally happy with whatever happens. Would be fun to see Banshee Maya in, like, Bar Brawl with high Siren stacks. True. That would be a pretty good way of testing our max potential health as well. Although our max potential health is very variable. So we could probably see about that. That'd be interesting. Alright, and last reason we are in the DLC here is just because of Mr. Bubbles. We'll probably finish the DLC since we're already here. But we really do just want him to spawn so that we can try to get a little Eevee going. There they are. I just need to get a way to separate them. Hopefully without too much difficulty. Okay, little sis is running away. So just do that. And we have a little Eevee. It has a Teor grip. I don't care. Doesn't matter. We will now use this to get our kills. Try to get a bunch of cooldown back really fast, like that. Cool. Alright, feels good. Yeah, this is nice. Just getting one kill with it is pretty good, but if we get multiple, it's going to be an insane amount of cooldown. So let's try to do that as an example. Yeah. There we go. That's nice. That's really stupid, but that's so nice. It's so much cooldown. It's so nice. Yeah, I never have an excuse to use this weapon. So I'm really just enjoying this. Yep, we could potentially get a melee little Eevee. That is a thing.
That wasn't so difficult.
Maybe not the most insane damage, but the cooldown is really fun to look at.
My friend, are you alright?
We have 13 stacks of Siren Song. That feels pretty nice. See if we can't maybe get one more? Nope, I missed. Oh well. Doesn't really seem to matter too much.
Shall be yours.
I'm so glad I'm multi-shotting this thing. The fire rate and everything would feel okay to use. But it's just a little bit faster to just press a couple more buttons here. Kind of just because why not? We need to get to the point in the game where it actually tests the character anyway. So I see no problem with doing this.
Grenade out!
You did it!
And there we go. Okay, Pirate DLC is done. We're gonna go loot, and then that'll probably do it for today. Alright, we do have BL2 Fix on, which does improve the quality of loot rooms at the end of DLCs. So I already see at least one legendary. Yep, it's a Kerblaster. And weirdly, that's the only one. I was kind of totally expecting there to be more. But I'll look around and see if there's anything worth picking up.
That is beautiful.
Fun little matching grip plasma caster. Interesting. Okay. I mean, I know we wouldn't prefer it to be a matching grip. We'd prefer like a bandit grip or whatever, but I don't care. That's fine. I'm realistically probably won't even use it. I'll have the little Eevee glued to my hands for a while. It's just cool to see one though. Alright. And DLC is done. We didn't need to finish it. It was just that the ending was right there, so why not do it at that point? It seems like a pretty fun character overall so far. Kind of just been playing it like a normal Maya, just with a really nice cooldown. Little Eevee is definitely going to help that along, so I don't know how much of it will be to blame on the little Eevee from here. But yeah, I'm liking the idea. A lot of varied phase lock spam, cooldown, super fast kind of gameplay. We get a bunch of melee buffs, and I don't think we'll really be meleeing ourselves so much as just spamming our abilities at people. So I do like the idea of being a very ability spam heavy Maya. I do kind of like whenever a game has at least one or two characters that can do that in their base game. So this is super cool. I like this so far. Looking forward to the rest of the run. Tomorrow will probably just be a dead sprint day. We'll see how that goes. Day 1.